Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Derek Smith with your Arm Wrestling Reddit podcast for 4/20/2020. So, we are deep into this quarantine coronavirus thing, and I have been nowhere to be found as far as podcasts and stuff go. Obviously, this whole thing took a big hit, was a big hit to a lot of people's lifestyles and stuff they had going on, including myself. No excuse. I was just being a lazy piece of crap, and I didn't do it. So that's but I'm here now. And that's what's important. I'm here. Maybe get a little content out for you guys. I know the hasn't been too much original content being pushed out right now for as far as arm wrestling, because most people aren't arm wrestling, right? So quick shout out as always, NatFit, Country Crush, Lion Straps, Smoking Sixes Meal Prep. Always give them a shout out to them. They help me out with everything I do. So yeah, go check them out, y'all. So let's see. It's been a couple weeks since I did this podcast. As far as me and my training goes, before I get into the Reddit stuff, it's just been with everything canceled and Arnold's canceled and all my my trips done and nothing on the horizon like set in stone as far as dates go. I'm realistically, I'm a big goal type of guy, right? So I like to set goals and then work towards them, but when a lot of my big goals are like away or you can't really define them and they're not set in stone, then it's been hard for me to kind of I didn't know where to seek motivation. I like to have targets. I guess that's the best way to put it. And it's been hard finding targets. So I've been finding some solace in the just trying to win the day, right? So that's gonna be my new thing. Just trying to win today. I'm going to try to do as well as I can today in as many facets of my life as I can, as far as getting my arm wrestling work done and just general fitness and in life and cleaning and cooking and just everything, work, time with my daughter, all that stuff. I just want to improve it all day by day and not be obsessive on the big picture and how gloomy that can be. So hope maybe when you guys can try that out with me and let me know how it works. Hopefully everybody's out there training, doing what they can at their house. Hopefully you guys have acquired enough arm wrestling tools by now to do some kind of arm wrestling at home workout. I think so, because I'm seeing a million videos of people doing at home workouts. So yeah. Anyway, all right, let's get into this Reddit stuff. I just cycled back about 7 days, and we'll start there and start working my way forward, and we'll see where we end up. All right. First post. Oh, by the way, this is dedicated to Minhale. He's the one that pestered me to start this podcast up again and make sure I can get my butt moving. So here I am. Shout out. Posted by, oh my gosh, Yo Mama's Fat 123. It's titled Crazy Improvement. He says, I'm being honest here. I'm 6'4", 165 pounds, and 17 years old. I'm quite skinny for my height, but I work out and play sports, and I'm in pretty good shape. I've been watching arm wrestling videos for a long time, like Devin Larratt and WAL matches. Also, lots of grip strength and stuff. I don't really do much arm and grip training, but I do some stuff like squeeze things and pull-ups and dips. But I'm mostly always working with my hands and things, so I build grip strength every day, I guess. LOL. Yesterday, I arm wrestled my dad, who weighs 245 and is about my height too. I beat him once out of 3 times, but I gave him, I think he meant it right, I gave him a run for his money. And I'm surprised because just by watching videos, I've learned technique and things that help even when the strength lacks. You can manipulate your strength into better positions. I was just happy to see that. I love arm wrestling. It's fun. I'm going to keep doing it. If anyone can link home video workout and stuff, and trust me, I'm trying to put on weight and stuff. My metabolism is just super high, but long story short, I'm going to keep working out and see how many other people I can keep up with or beat. Yeah, man, arm wrestling with your dad, it's awesome. As long as you can get a hold of some kind of arm right now, that's always going to be beneficial. Stay safe. Obviously, if neither one of you guys are real trained in arm wrestling, make sure you're keeping your elbows inside your belly or inside your shoulder blades. I always tell everybody to keep your elbows close to the belly button as you can. Keep your face connected to your hand, whether you're winning or losing. And generally, always just pull backwards so you don't go too hard sideways when you're first starting. Just kind of feel out the side pressure over time and see what's safe and comfortable, right? But besides that, man, yeah, I mean, don't worry about the frame. 6'4", 165 pounds, like, yeah, that's thin, but like, the frame, everybody can be successful with different frames, man. I can give you examples of arm wrestlers with way different builds that are super successful. So don't be obsessed with like how you're built and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, as long as you love the sport, the number one thing I think that's important to becoming any kind of successful arm wrestler is just loving the sport. You have to, by default, have an obsession, a sick obsession with the sport. It's hard if you don't have that. It's really hard to move forward, right? So just keep watching the videos. As far as watching videos of at-home workouts, there's a ton of arm wrestling training groups that you can find on Facebook. Join those. Just start searching for groups and join all the groups, and you'll see a million videos being posted all the time of everybody doing at-home workouts. Bench pressing their cat and stuff like that. It's wild. So yeah, when you get a chance, join those groups, and you'll definitely see some stuff. Moving forward, posted by SpeedCuber98. Breaking news: the changes in top 8. Watch now. It's a video from ArmBets TV, basically them explaining how the top 8 is postponed, I think, to 2021. So, yeah, to be expected. Mazurenko puts together these videos, you guys, and you get a chance, watch it and stay up to date on the current top 8 news. But yeah, I mean, obviously everything's getting postponed and pushed back, so yay, fun. All right, next. Moving forward, posted by Thunderblood Raven. He says, I need advice on pronation. Currently, I'm doing very high volume posting and handwork and seeing big benefits, but my pronation is suffering as a result. That's weird. I'm struggling trying to do any serious volume or weight. So is there a smarter way I can work pronation that is not hand intensive? And is there an easy way to improve torque? I usually do pronation with a strap over the thumb. Yeah, man, so you don't always have to do pronation over your thumb. You can wrap like a martial arts belt around your hand, around your wrist, so it's pulling below your wrist. The actual pronation part is hitting below your wrist. You could do it that way. It sounds like imagine if you get your your ability to hammer curl. If you get your hammer curling ability super strong, then your pronation, your pronator muscles are small muscles. So to expect them to be able to keep up with a big muscle group like your brachialis or your brachioradialis, right, is kind of odd, right? A lot of the stuff inside your forearms takes a long time to grow, guys. Our bodies, we use our hands and our wrists for everything we do in daily life, right? Since caveman days, we have to dig and use tools and stuff like that, and so our hands and our forearms take forever to grow. It's not like our bigger muscle groups like your chest and stuff like that, where you can start seeing significant improvements soon. Hand and wrist work takes forever. It takes years and years of consistent work. So to expect, your little pronator muscles to keep up with your brachialis is not realistic, right? Just stay consistent at it. Don't hurt yourself trying to do anything crazy. I've injured myself a bunch of times trying to go way too heavy in my wrist and my thumb. Those are a lot of small muscle groups in there, and you can easily tear something. So just it's a marathon, not a sprint. This whole arm wrestling thing. Don't rush it and don't hurt yourself. But yeah, you can wrap a like a martial arts belt or something like that below your wrist, so the pressure is coming below your wrist instead of above it, right? So kind of think like a strap. Right, a strap goes below your wrist line, and so put a lot of torque on that part where the strap would be instead of above your wrist. That'll help you out a little bit, man. But hopefully, work that pronation and you figure it out, man. Just take your time on it. Don't rush it. But pronation and cupping are definitely huge components to arm wrestling for sure. So keep working on those. Moving forward, posted by Last Jedi was overrated. Damn, these names are awesome. It says, do they use actors on WAL? I've seen this guy in 3+ videos in the exact same spot. Something just seems odd about it. So in the past WAL, I'm pretty sure that they had extras. They had paid actors on there. But, I mean, I get it. It sucks, especially as an arm wrestler, especially since they charge us. But I get them needing to fill the seats, and no matter what, so it looks better for TV, so that way they can find more sponsors to sponsor the events. I get that. That makes sense. I want WL to be successful, of course, right? So I get that from their standpoint. But it kind of sucks when you find out, and you've paid like $20 to get in there, and you find out the other people were paid to be in there. But yeah, I hear they're not doing it anymore. I forget who mentioned it, but they said that they stopped doing it a few events ago. But yeah, I did hear that. But that's also not official word or anything like that. But yeah, man, in order to attract sponsors and stuff like that, they have to be pitching sold out crowds. It has to, or else no big money is ever going to come into the sport, right? So that's totally understandable. Yeah, until we get big, we got to fake it till you make it. You know what I'm saying? So moving forward, posted by Marcus Nen. It's titled "Training Cupping for Hook," and then it's a guy, Marcus. I'm guessing it's him, and he's in like a hallway, and he's doing cupping with. It's almost like a multi-spinner, Devin Larratt multi-spinner, with a low attachment, a high attachment, and like kind of like a middle one. And he has a rubber band, and he's doing wrist curls while staring at the camera for 13 minutes. So I watched that for about 25 seconds, and fast forward through it, and yep, a lot of wrist curls, guys. So if you guys want to go see Marcus do wrist curls in the hallway, check that video out. Now, moving forward. Boxer 9000. Prime Magnus Samuelson versus Devin Larratt. Who wins? Devin. Wait. So Prime Magnus versus Prime Devin, or Prime Magnus versus Devin Larratt? No, it doesn't really matter. Devin wins. What am I saying? Magnus is good. He was definitely an arm wrestling champion. I think he was a European champion. I don't know if he was a world champion. But Devin's been on another level. I mean, even when Devin was healthy, or he's still healthy, but when he was, younger Devin, that was full functioning without all the injuries and operations and stuff, he would crush everybody in the world. So definitely Magnus included. And then right now he has a King's move. So, I mean, I don't know. Magnus is awesome, but I don't think he was, ever considered like a Denis Saplankov or Levon type. Those are the guys you'd have to be around that level in order to beat Devin now, or even have a chance before. So, yeah, I would have to say Devin. That's my vote. But then again, I don't know too much about Magnus, but I know enough about the sport to know that I would know more about Magnus if he was at that level of Dennis and Levon and those guys. So I'm gonna have to say Devin Larratt. Although Magnus Samuelson is like actually one of my favorite strongmen ever. I loved watching that guy compete. He was an absolute monster. By the way, for people that don't know, Magnus Samuelson was like a world's strongest man. How many times did he win it? I don't know, 3 times, something like that. He won it a few times, I believe. So yeah. Moving forward, posted by Derpy Frog. It says muscle activation problem. Hi guys, I recently got into arm wrestling, but I have a problem activating my brachioradialis, I believe he said, muscle on my right hand when training, but on the left it works just fine, and it's frustrating me because when I arm wrestle, I'm not as strong with my right as I am with my left because of this. I have to say everything was working just fine 8 months ago before I broke my wrist. So I decided to ask the guys that know way more about this than me for some tips on making this muscle work again. Light, man. You have to work your way up. Like I just said a couple posts ago, especially stuff in the forearms, like your brachioradialis, it takes time. So if you broke your wrist and stuff like that, and you ever want to see success with that muscle again, start light, rehab work, and just slowly increase, like over months and months and months. Just add a pound here, half pound there, one more rep. A couple more seconds of holding time, stuff like that, and just slowly but surely. Also, there's ways of arm wrestling around that, man. You don't have to always have a high wrist. Don't get me wrong, there's huge benefits to having a high wrist, but that's not the end-all, be-all. Learn how to arm wrestle without maintaining a high knuckles all the time. There's ways around it, for sure. I have the same, I had the same injury on my right wrist, where I couldn't maintain high knuckles against somebody that would go against my high knuckles, and so I learned how to arm wrestle around it. And now it's pretty healed up, and I can do both now. Now I can arm wrestle around it, or I can go high. But it just took time and work. So that's what I'd say, man. Nice and easy. And then focus on your other arm and focus on your weaknesses while you're rehabbing that wrist. That's my advice. Take it or leave it, whatever. Moving forward, posted by MHTKMRAUG. That guy. State your unpopular opinion related to arm wrestling. Can be anything related to arm wrestling, arm wrestlers, rules, tournament, etc. My unpopular opinion. Okay, so something most people don't agree with about arm wrestling. Oh, shit. Sorry, this is like one of those questions where I would have had to think about it for a minute. So, an unpopular opinion would be like, Oh man, I don't know, guys. I'm gonna have to come back to this one. Unpopular opinion. I'm not sure. Oh, okay. I think Michael Todd can beat Levon. There we go. There's an unpopular opinion. I think Michael Todd, in my mind, is the favorite to beat Levon Saginashvili. There we go. Most people think I'm crazy because of that, because Levon's trajectory is crazy. But I just don't see him having the tools with Mike improving all the time. I just don't see Levon having the tools to beat Mike right now, in my opinion. And yeah, until proven otherwise, that's my opinion. I don't see anybody. I think Mike's the favorite to beat a lot of people, and I mean, I think the best shot anybody has is Jerry. To be honest, even over like Vitali. Yeah, so I don't see anybody in the top 8 beating beating Michael Todd. I think Jerry's the best shot of anybody beating him. So, yep, moving forward. Posted by some guy 87 says pain in elbow pit after arm wrestling specific workouts. I just started incorporating a workout day with arm wrestling specific workouts, i.e. curl variants, pronation training with judo belt, etc. However, after doing this for about 3 weeks or so, I started noticing a stinging pain whenever I do any kind of pulling exercises, specifically on the outside of the elbow pit. So when you hold your hand down like you want to curl, it's on the outside. The pain seems more prominent when doing pronated exercises. So examples: pull-ups, intense pain had to stop. Chin-ups, fine during exercise, slight pain minutes afterwards. Grippers, no issues. I rested for a week hoping it would get better, but it seems like nothing has changed. Does anyone have experience with this and some kind of advice? What's the best way to continue? The best approach to continue would be. So it could be a number of things. Oh, by the way, not a doctor here. Just want to clear that up. Anytime anybody complains about pain or injuries, you guys go see a doctor because I am not one. But from my experience, if you're receiving pain on the outside of your elbow, kind of by where your brachioradialis and all that stuff connects to your brachialis, you might have strained something. If you're not used to a lot of arm wrestling workouts and you start throwing a lot of them in there suddenly, you might have just overactivated something, right? And so give it some time, let it heal up, start focusing on your biceps, start focusing on supinated lifts, right? Like do your bicep curls while supinating, martial arts belt or something, or a loop while staying supinated, and kind of stay away from that other side of your arm. That's a way to avoid that, where that heals up. Not so many hammer curls, not so many things that are going to be hitting your brachialis. I had a recent pain in my left arm, and it was there for about 6 months, and it's just now going away. Honestly, this time off the table is kind of what healed it. I started hooking only when I would pull, like deep hooking. I'm talking about European palm facing, not even facing my face, palm facing behind me. I'm so supinated in, I can't even I hit nothing but biceps. Like that type of arm wrestling, but then basically it gave it time to heal. So I stayed away from my brachialis, so as much as I could. So yeah, check that out, man. But just take your time on it. Those are heavy lifts. Pull-ups and stuff like that are really going to activate that a lot. And if you have some kind of strain or something you did on that, just maybe get it worked on. I did use a massage gun a couple times, and that helped out a lot in those pain areas. But yeah, if you're touching it like with your finger and it's tender to the touch, yeah, then I used a massage gun. I got in there and really broke up some of the stuff. If we're talking about the outside of your elbow, I'll never, ever, ever, ever advise working on the inside of your elbow with a massage gun. I think it's the worst idea ever. The time I did it screwed me over, and everybody I know, when they got real deep tissue work done on the inside of their elbow, it screwed them. They are screwed for arm wrestling for a while. So, but if you're going to work on the outside of your elbow, go for it, man. Get some work done on the outside of your arm, and you might have a pinch something, or maybe work that out with a massage gun. And just take your time, give it some love, and definitely stop going so hard at it for sure. Let it heal up. Find other ways to arm wrestle. There are other ways and other lifts you can do to target arm wrestling muscles, right? Moving forward, posted by Abyssic Void. It says, God bless Neil Pickup. And then it's a picture of Atlas, right? That's a guy. Atlas holding the world, and it says Neil Pickup, and he's holding the entire arm wrestling community, basically. So I think it's talking about all the content that Neil Pickup is putting out, and how he's like basically holding up the community with content right now. That's true, man. I can't even hate. I put out like 2 videos. I know people. Everything's slowed down, and Neil is like cranking up. He is doing those Skype interviews with all the WAL guys for the most part. Really interesting is the ones with Devin Larratt, John Berzink, and Ingen Terzi. If you guys have not watched those on Neil's YouTube channel, so Neil has a YouTube channel where he does Skype interviews, and then he has his podcast on iTunes, right? Which is just audio only, basically. So, but check out his YouTube channel. These videos with Devin Larratt, Ingen Terzi, and John Berzink, and Neil Pickup are awesome. It's hilarious. I'm obviously a big fan of all those guys. I've talked to them all, and it's great to see them all going at it. And they're all so established, and they've all done it in such different ways, and they've all reached the top. And just a lot of knowledge there on that one podcast, including Neil Pickup himself. Dude is an awesome arm wrestler, very smart, very intelligent guy. And it makes you, if you really sit there and listen to them, you'll see that they all have different approaches, but to remind yourself that they all made it just shows that just love arm wrestling. So, Coach Ray always says, his last thing he always says in every video is love arm wrestling, right? And so that's important. That's the only thing you have to have in common to make it to whatever goal you want in arm wrestling, is really be obsessed with it and put in the work, whatever the work is, kind of. Because there's just so many examples of people doing different things and reaching the top. All table time, all gym time, all different ways of doing both of those things and reaching really, really extravagant goals. So, but yeah, huge credit to Neil Pickup and all the things he's putting out. I've definitely been watching and paying attention. Neil is the man. I'm thinking about trying to get Neil on the podcast, kind of the way I had Devin and Todd Hutchings. I think he'd be a very interesting person to have on the podcast to shoot the shit with. He's also really funny. Okay, so the next post is posted by Top Roll King, and it's Artem basically talking about getting high at tournaments. And it's him going over his feelings on each drug while he's been at an event. You know what? Screw it. I'll read it. It says, titles, Getting High in Tournaments. And he put, so I've been experimenting with different types of recreational drugs on tournaments. So far has been amphetamines, weed, and alcohol. I feel like amphetamine made me a lot more focused, aka hence why I was overreacting at referees ready at bottom 8 last year. Weed before the event or edibles after a nice solid dinner. It's definitely a game changer the next day, super fresh. On alcohol, you're definitely the easiest one to explain the feeling. And I'd say any drug that messes with your CNS has to be tried in strength training purposes. But because I'm a solid believer that we get stronger, especially in arm wrestling, because of CNS, not mythological tendon growth. Yeah, so Artem was probably really high when he wrote that, and the dude's crazy. I definitely don't advise taking any kind of drugs to for your arm wrestling tournaments. Just too untested. I mean, I don't even know how that stuff would affect you. Although I know a lot of top arm wrestlers smoke a lot of weed, that's for sure. And obviously arm wrestlers are known for drinking a lot of beer. So, yeah, that happens. Moving forward, posted by MHTKMRAUG. Would you like a rule that if your arms are fully extended, then you lose the match? I don't hate King's move, but it makes the match boring, and this is not good for viewership, in my opinion. If your arm is fully extended, then you lose the match. I don't know, man. Honestly, it's weird. It's odd how often this kind of little debate goes on in my head about the King's move and its not legitimacy, its place in the sport. If arm wrestling is not just a strength sport, right? It's also like a martial art. It's like a combat sport as well, right? And so it's depending on how you view the sport. If you view it as an art form and it's where it's anything to win, regardless of strength or technique and stuff, then the King's move is legit. If you view it in a strength kind of approach, arm wrestling, then the King's move is not legit, right? Because a lot of times people are banking on the absence of, or it's their arm failing and them going to a position where their arm can no longer, get any flatter and more open. So I've always gone back and forth in my official stance. Sometimes I'm like, man, that sucks. Sometimes I'm like, that sucks. King's moves, because what's going to stop me from going out and getting a surgery where I put metal beams in my arm and my arm can't open up past 90 degrees? Then I'm just, world champion? That's just me. I just never lose after that. I have metal in my arms and I can't get pinned. So I just go down as a world champion forever? Is that what happens? Or, but at the same time, they got that King's move from arm wrestling often and for years, and having all those injuries from arm wrestling the other way. So it's like, it's hard. I don't know. I go back and forth on it a lot, guys. And I'm the one that came up with the name King's move, and it still reigns true, the original idea of how I named it. But yeah, if your arm is failing, and I think a lot of older arm wrestlers are going to be going to that move. A lot of older arm wrestlers have gone through so many injuries that their arms are their range of motion is getting worse and worse. Even John is messing with it a little bit, and they're starting to realize, like, oh, there's a place I can still be, like, untouchable. So, I don't know. If their arm isn't fully functioning in full range of motion, I don't know, is that a thing? Is it considered a regular arm? Should they be in the disabled class? Who knows? Stuff to think about. I'm always going back and forth. It's awesome, but you should be able to fight. You use everything you can to win within the rules, as long as you're not breaking the rules. Then that's awesome, right? Claw and bite and scratch your way to victory. You should. That's like what you do in any kind of fight, right? If it's a test of strength, then that's their arm kind of failing, as far as the bicep failing and stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't know, man. You guys gotta make the decision on where you stand as far as checking that move out. But as far as aesthetically, I don't think anybody says it looks good. I've never heard even the King's move guys say this move looks good. Because we already get enough shit for just using our body, just like leaning, right? Everybody goes, oh, they're using their body. But, that's a whole nother level. It's being underneath the table. So, yeah, aesthetically, I think we all kind of agree it's not the prettiest thing in the world. Moving forward, posted by the Maestro 27, says Uncle John appreciation. I think Uncle John needs a round of applause, ladies and gents. Dude is a class act and he deserves way more subscribers than he has. Let's get him to 1,000. Go subscribe to his channel now. And then they have a link to Uncle John's channel. Uncle John is an arm wrestler. I didn't know that he has been arm wrestling as long as I have, maybe even longer. The other day he went live and I was kind of commenting on there, and he was talking about stuff from when I first started arm wrestling and how he was around during those times. So that's awesome. Dude's very intelligent, speaks very intelligently, very articulate when he talks, and definitely like listening to him. He'd be a very good commentator, John. If you ever get a chance, I like to see you live commentating on some stuff. I think you word things well. So, yeah, check that out, man. But definitely check out his channel if you guys get a chance. Subscribe to him. If you guys feel like subscribing to my channel, you can too. It's whatever. Hey, 903 subscribers today for me, man. I'm almost there to 1,000, guys, then I can get monetized. All right, moving forward. Posted by Minhale. Arm wrestlers height chart. And so this has a bunch of famous arm wrestlers and their height from short to tall. And the final one is Vitaly Letin. I met him. People want me to post a picture. He's taller than me, I believe. I think he's 6'9". I'm 6'8". Alex Kudecha is 6'7". The crazy part, okay, so this little height chart goes to show it's like not all about, like, height isn't that big of a player. Rustam Babayev was in there, and he, especially in his prime, and he's beaten like everybody on this list, almost at some point. So, and he's super small, right? And different hand sizes on all these guys, and different height and length of forearms and stuff. So, yeah, Denis Saplekov's in there, and he's beating everybody. So, yeah, height doesn't have a ton to do with it. If you really know how to use it, it can be a factor. But, yeah. So, that's crazy. Their heights are a little bit crazy, right? Moving forward, posted by Armory. It says, Larry Wheels challenges Schoolboy to a 2020 super match. So, Larry, I hope you're listening to this podcast, man. Last time we talked, I told you check out my podcast. I give a lot of help and tips to newer guys at levels like yourself. So this is a video where Larry Wheels, one of the probably pound for pound, all things considered, one of the strongest humans on the planet. One of, he has gotten into arm wrestling, been to arm wrestling for like a year and a half, or no. Well, he first arm wrestled about a year and a half or so, something like that. And but now he decided to call out Schoolboy. He made a video where he's calling out Arm Wrestling TV Alex's brother Alex. So he wants to have a match with them. Probably it's more to get hype around it, to get a lot of views in the video, because Larry's really famous. He has like 1 million subscribers on his YouTube channel, and Schoolboy is super famous from Arm Wrestling TV, always putting videos out there of him. So the matchup, but guys, Larry, it's not. Schoolboy would destroy Larry. Devin made a video about it too, saying he put $1,000 on Schoolboy. I mean, Larry has a lot to learn about arm wrestling. He has a lot of parts he needs to develop as far as in his hand and his forearm to contain Schoolboy, who specifically targets hands. There's just not enough there, man. I arm wrestled Larry pretty recently, and I've seen all the videos of Schoolboy. I mean, you guys saw me arm wrestle Larry not that long ago, and I don't know how me and Schoolboy would go. It would be close. I mean, I think I can get him, but I don't know if I'd be gambling a bunch of money on it. He's very strong. He's very tall, like 6'5", 240 pounds. It's a big kid for sure, and he's been training arm wrestling for a while, and he arm wrestles very intelligently. He uses his height really well. He's a very smart arm wrestler. He's no joke. Schoolboy is no joke at all. Now, is he Dennis, Saplenkov, Levon level? No, not yet. But dude, he's young, and he has places to go. So he's definitely legit arm wrestler. Larry has a ton of potential, and hopefully stays with it and keeps learning. But this matchup's a little skewed, more for promotional purposes, I believe. Now, I would like to see like Larry Wheels and Juji. That I want to see that match. I wanted to see that match. I was hoping that would happen in the bottom 8. That's a good matchup, I think. I don't know who wins that, right? I'd like to see that type of stuff. Maybe Larry Wheels and Jonathan Laba. I'd like to see those matchups. But yeah, Schoolboy's gonna be a little bit much, a lot of bit much. So, but in the video that they posted here, So Larry, he introduces Schoolboy. Then he has a bunch of clips of Schoolboy arm wrestling. Right, all the people that Schoolboy Alexander has beaten in recent times. And then he has a bunch of Larry has a bunch of clips of himself arm wrestling, a bunch of people over in Dubai and stuff like that, and people that he's beaten out there. And then at the end, he put the clip of me beating him, which I don't get. A lot of people are commenting on that and asking me like why you put that in there. I don't know. I think it's just to show. I don't know. I don't know why you put the clip of me beating him in there. It was supposed to be a highlight reel of him beating everybody. But hopefully this match happens. They're known enough where it probably will happen on some kind of main stage somewhere, WAL something. If not, then it would make sense for those two YouTube channels to get together, buy some plane tickets, and go make the match happen anyway. Definitely get a lot of views. So yeah, make that happen. Make that happen. YouTube channels, Larry and Arm Wrestling TV. All right, moving forward. Posted by Clownside. Titled Arm Wrestling Table. Hello, I'm thinking about buying an arm wrestling table from Alibaba. See the link. Can someone help me determine if this site is legit or the manufacturer? Thank you so much in advance. Then he has a link to a website called Alibaba.com, and it has arm wrestling table in there to buy. The website looks super shady. I've never heard of Alibaba. That's all I know. I know the website looks shady, and I've never heard of it. And I've been around arm wrestling for a while, and it's kind of my life. So take that for what it is. Now, if it's legit, I'm sorry for saying that, Alibaba, but I've never heard of your website, and it looks kind of weird. So, yeah, if you feel like buying it and gambling, then go for it, man. I would say check out Combat Arms Sports or Mazarenko, armpower.net, or Arm Assassin, or Legacy Tables on Facebook, or I would say check out one of those. Those are a little more established. Okay, moving forward, posted by Hamraro. It says, is Devin versus Michael still happening due to the pandemic? It's been postponed, as far as I know. Devin's still training, getting ready for it. He wants that match to happen. I think as soon as this whole thing's done with, that will be one of the first matches to happen. And it all kind of depends on the travel, on international travel, and how easy it is for Devin to get down here. from Canada. If Devin can't get down for the match, then they might just throw Jerry at Michael instead. So, but I know Devin really wants that match right now. He was training for it, prepping for it. He wants that match with Michael. So hopefully it does. But it all depends on how the governments are going to play this stuff, man. That's a better question for Trump and Trudeau, the guy that runs Canada. Let's see. Posted by JKemp309, titled "How Would I Get Good?" So I want to arm wrestle, but none of my friends are interested, especially after the lockdown. There are no arm wrestle gyms or clubs in my area. How could I get good and technical without even arm wrestling? Seems impossible. Any ideas? So to get a lot of skill, if you're talking about getting good at arm wrestling, that's going to be rough, man. On your own, you can start the way I started, just watching every video you could possibly imagine, making anybody that lives with you or is around you try to grip up with you just to try to understand the anatomy and how, to apply pressure on hands and whatnot. But yeah, as far as like becoming a really good arm wrestler without anybody or anything like that, it's going to be rough. Tap into all the resources available, right? You got podcasts like this. There's Discord. There's all the Facebook training groups. You can message any top pro pretty much ever, and they'll respond to you. Most arm wrestlers are on Facebook. That's the best way to get a hold of the top guys. But I mean, do as much as you can online. But there's a lot of things you're not going to be able to figure out at home without actually grouping up with anybody. But do as much as you can, man. The more fall in love with the sport, spend time doing research, understand it, and know who these guys are. And then by the time you get into it, the carryover should be quick and get all your questions ready. But you're not going to be able to put a ton of pressure on your elbow and really build up any of your elbows, which is a super important thing to work on when you get to an actual, to start arm wrestling. But yeah, you can start doing stuff at your house, as far as all the lifting stuff, grip work, things like that. And that'll help you take a step forward for when you do arm wrestle. Do a lot of pull-ups. Get used to have a good connection between having pressure in your fingers and applying it all the way up through your elbow, up into your shoulder and in your lat. Get used to staying connected and tight. These are good things to build in your mind before you go arm wrestle. So get used to supporting all your weight in your hand. So that's why pull-ups are a really good thing for you to work on. Chin-ups, pull-ups, neutral grip pull-ups, all that type of stuff. I would say focus on that if you're able to do pull-ups and whatnot. I'm not. I'm a big fat piece of crap. But I can do a few. And but just get used to supporting your weight, man. But besides that, just ask questions and stay obsessed with it until this whole quarantine thing ends. Then go find yourself a team. Go to armfighter.com and find yourself a local team and get a practice in. Got to do it, man. You have to get with people to arm wrestle to learn how to be safe and how to be strong and apply pressure really well. All right, moving forward. Posted by Minhale. It says, how do hook pullers go through an entire tournament? Unless I'm significantly stronger than my opponent, I have found hook matches to drag on and become draining. How do hook pullers make it through an entire tournament? All right, so one, I'm not qualified to answer this. By the time I started hooking, so I hook right-handed predominantly now, but I didn't start hooking until I already had a nice top roll built. Hooking in a tournament is rough. That's a rough way to do tournaments because you're just going to be in wars more often than not. I think the guys that are like hardcore hook arm wrestlers, especially if they're not fast, they're used to like going slow and overpowering their opponent. You just have to have a way stronger bicep than everybody and not let yourself get tired out. The whole point of a tournament, or not whole point, but the whole approach to a tournament and arm wrestling intelligently is to end the matches quickly. That's why top rolling is generally the preferred style for tournaments as far as running through a bracket and feeling good by the time you get in the finals. So as far as I haven't hooked an entire tournament yet and been from start to finish. I don't think I have. I usually will top roll the first few rounds, especially if it's people that I'm not too worried about. I'll try to keep my arm fresh and I'll top roll or pull up high until I get a couple wins in there. And then once the guys start getting serious, then I'll start jumping into the hook. So I have my hooks a little more fresh towards the end. But But yeah, if you're hooking the whole time, man, the stronger you are, the more endurance your bicep has, and the stronger your tendons are and stuff like that, the longer you're going to be able to last. But definitely don't want to get in wars. So being aggressive as far as controlling center table, watching your line and make sure you're cutting through their bicep. As far as like, oh man, it's hard to explain with just audio. You need to have the side of your shoulder and the back of your hand, the arm wrestling hand. They need to make a line, right, from the side of your shoulder to the back of your hand. They imagine like a pretend string, a make believe string from the back of your hand to the side of your shoulder. Now that string makes a line when you have it, taut and tight. Now that line needs to cut across their bicep, like through their bicep to the outside of their body. That should line up outside of their body if you're cutting onto their bicep. Now if that line runs into their arm or into their chest, then you're opening up and you're giving them a chance to cut onto your bicep. Now I'm saying this because when you first initiate a deep hook, you want to target and single out their bicep while you're utilizing your chest, shoulder, lat, bicep, everything like that. But you're utilizing way more muscles while you're singling out one of theirs, right? Because then you have more wiggle room. You're using a bunch of muscles rather than just primarily using your bicep and pronation, right? So don't be afraid. It's about your angles and how offensive you can be and your style of hooking, right? If your hook is completely defensive and you're used to trying to catch people and reeling them in, then it's going to be a long day, right? But you can definitely be an offensive hook puller and fly through tournaments as well. I've seen it a million times. But yeah, you're going to have to be in good shape. If you're a hook arm wrestler, you sign up for wars. That's what comes with that territory. But just go be the man. If you're the man, then you don't have a problem. Moving forward, posted by Shirgosa, titled, "I think it's weird that the ref yells go so quickly and suddenly." He says, "It seems like it would be more sensible for the ref to be like, close your thumbs, close your hands, ready, 3, 2, 1, go." It just seems like the referee is trying to surprise them by being so sudden. In my mind, it would make more sense for both arm wrestlers to go at the exact same time, so giving them total awareness when to start pulling both at the same time is better. So often the ref does not even say ready, go. They try to be fast, so they say ready, go. They cut the word right off. Help me understand, smiley face. All right. People cheat in arm wrestling, man. There's a lot of loading. There's a lot of weird things going on at the setup. I'm assuming, Shirgosa, you don't arm wrestle a lot, or you haven't had a lot of experience with ready goes. But that's where right before the ready goes, where all the cheating happens. That's where all the magic starts going on. And so a lot of times I'm a fan of just go. Just go. Like, I'll tell the guys, hey, okay, guys, I like this setup. This looks good. That you'll see it on my practice videos when I'm running super matches. I set them all up and stuff like that. I get their wrists straight. Everything looks good. And I'll tell them, hey, guys, I like this. I like this. This looks good. And that's kind of my way of saying, if you don't like something, it's time to speak up. Lift your elbow up and stop everything. But then I don't give them a countdown. So I'll be like, all right, guys, I like this. I like this. Ready, go. And I start it, right then. Because the reason I do that is I don't want them cheating. I don't want them loading up a ton. I want them firing off at the exact same second. Saying a really fast go will get them going the exact same time with minimal cheats and minimal loading, right? So that's like a real arm wrestling match. Everything looks good. I tell them that so they know that they're ready. It's coming after I say that, and then it's ready to go. I find that when you say ready and you draw it out like that, or okay, here we go, ready, 3, 2, 1. All right, guys, I'm about to say go. Here it comes, and go. When you do all that, the entire time you're talking, people are going to be climbing. They're going to be pushing their elbow forward and getting their arm taller and taller. They're going to be covering other people's knuckles. There's a lot of cheating going. You're going to be fouling so many people, and you're never going to be able to start the match that way. Because every time they tense up, they're just going to keep fouling and pushing the match back. So definitely the shorter go, the better, in my opinion. I don't even know why they have ready in there. Because ready is supposed to be like a question, right? Like, ready? Like, are you ready? But they say it so fast, it doesn't give you a chance to respond. So I don't know why they say ready, go. But yeah, I like just go, if I could help it. So yeah. Moving forward, posted by, that's my video I posted the other day. It's a practice we had a few weeks ago. Small practice, like 6 people. Yeah, I had the footage on my phone, and so I decided to put a video out there. So there's a little bit of content going out into the world. Just some strong ass dudes over at Mega Mike's house. So Scott Partington, He qualified for Arnold. It's one of the best. I think he's 242 right now, but traditionally he was always like 225. I think. Yeah, one of the best guys out here around that weight. He was in the WAL finals with Matt Mask before, left-handed. Scott's a beast, always has been for sure. Then who else was there? Mega Mike on my team was there. Super strong up and comer. You'll see him in the gray shirt. Still learning some of the ins and outs of the sport, but has a ton of potential. Loves the sport. I'm really excited for this break to happen end, so that way we can keep putting in more work with Mike and getting him ready. Then after that, there was Gage Jordan, another one of my teammates, arguably one of the top 200 pounders in California, right at 200 pounds. Yeah, he was there. And then Ole Mosai is there, one of the best 175 pounders in California, for sure. I think the fastest guy on the West Coast, in my opinion. Someone else, feel free to argue with that. He was there. And then Heraclio Ramirez, one of my other teammates, was there. A very strong left-handed hooker, he pulls open class, super heavyweight, and left-handed, and he was there. Yeah, I think that was it. Hopefully I'm not missing anyone. And then myself. So some good matches, definitely some strong guys. Fun. We barbecued, and I thank you, Mike, for hosting all that. All right, moving forward. Titled, oh wow, posted by Big CAWCK. Titled, if you train for strength, you need less endurance because your opponent has less of a strain on you. So why train for endurance? So I agree that, and even Rob Vigent was talking about this not that long ago, that if your endurance is only a factor if you're closely at the same level as the person you're arm wrestling. If you guys are very close in strength levels, then endurance becomes a factor. But if you just train to be way stronger than everybody, then endurance isn't really going to be a thing, right? It's the person who has better, who's just stronger, wins the endurance battle, right? So obviously, I'm a big, fat, sloppy guy, and I can arm wrestle a guy on my team. I can arm wrestle guys on my team and outlast them, and they're way better shape than me, purely because I'm only using, 20% of my strength, and they're using 90% of their strength, and they're just going to gas out first just because I'm not using that much of my strength, right? So the stronger guy will win the endurance battle, traditionally. But if you're close in levels, then you need to have good endurance. If you're close in strength levels, so training to have to be able to breathe well, and your muscles to process oxygen well, and to stay in good position and stuff like that, and how to utilize proper certain muscles and how to target certain muscles on them, all that type of stuff that leads to being a good endurance arm wrestler. That stuff's important. It definitely has a place in the sport, especially if you're trying to win a super match. If you're a super match arm wrestler, then endurance can be a big player for sure. Moving forward, posted by Stony Go Kill Yourself is his name. Titled Tips Against a Larger Opponent. I used to go against my brother for fun sometimes, but now we're actually on the more competitive side. I used to dominate as I knew about techniques and such before him. Wrist, hand, top rolling. However, he now knows about these aspects, and I find it hard to win. I'm 150 to 155 pounds, and he's around 240. Any advice? Oftentimes I see the mismatches go in the favor of the smaller person since the larger person has absolutely no experience. We are both 6 feet. I think my reach may be a bit longer, but not by much. So you guys about the same height and everything like that. He's just heavier. And and now you find it hard to win, so he's beating you, right? There's okay, you say techniques. It sounds like you're pretty new, man. It sounds like you don't have a lot of experience with arm wrestling. So I'm assuming that's true. Assuming you're relatively new to it. How do I word this? There's other aspects of arm wrestling that can help you beat your brother, right? Such as speed. Shooting into a match, faster than him, that's something, right? That can generate more force. So that's like power. Power is like speed and strength combined, right? Then there's a bunch of cheats covering knuckles and stuff like that. You could do stuff like that. When you're arm wrestling, generally you want to target one of three things. You want to either target their arm, as far as extending their arm, like opening their bicep up. You're going to target their hand, meaning pronation or cupping, like manipulate their hand. Or you can target their frame and try to get them outside their shoulder, right? Push and try to get their arm outside their shoulder. So target those three things during the match. Fluctuate between those three things. So you try to open up his bicep, then he tightens up his bicep. The moment he tightens up his bicep, you jam sideways. The moment he starts defending sideways, you start pronating. The moment he tries to defend his hand, then you start jamming backwards on his arm again, so his bicep opens up. You just keep alternating through those three things, and you'll whittle him down if you arm wrestle intelligently. But if there's such a strength gap, that's the real question: is how big is the strength gap between you guys? If you guys are dead even, you start super neutral and fair, and he is just walking through you because he's so much stronger than you. You're gonna need a lot. You're gonna need a lot of tricks to overcome that type of thing. That's why we have weight classes in the sport. But yeah, I mean, I need to know more about you guys. Kind of how long you've been arm wrestling. Maybe post a video of your guys' matches. And then I could kind of tell you if there's some glaring weaknesses and holes in your guys' games and how to take advantage of it. But yeah, I mean, the fact that you guys are built the same, but he's way heavier, his body's gonna support more muscle, and so yeah, he's just gonna be. Odds are he'll be a little stronger than you for a while, so you have to get creative with it. I just don't know what you guys do or do not know as far as the sport goes. But you say you know technique, so use more technique, man. You say you know wrist, hand, top rolling, so you go utilize that and bust that hand back. Now, if you need tips specifically on top rolling or hooking, then let me know, and I will love to help you out. Let's see. Oh, this is the final one, guys. We made it. Posted by MHTKMRAUG. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Marag. It's a video titled 2006 NAL Michael Todd versus Ron Bath. I think someone posted this a couple months ago. This is pre-King's Move Michael Todd. For those of you guys that don't know, like, Michael Todd is a legit arm wrestler. Legit. He has a very strong hook. He has a lethal press, which he used to always go for. It was always like... I rarely remember seeing Michael Todd pin people in a hook. I'm sure he did. But in the videos I've seen, it's either he would always hold in a hook until you get kind of tired out, and then he would press. Right? He would get behind it with his arm and press. But I don't think he pinned often in a hook. But so it's awesome watching his endurance and how competitive he was. Like, there's, it's not shocking that his arm is as damaged as it is with how competitive he is. That dude is a competitor for sure. So these matches are awesome. Watching him compete and go all out against Ron Bath and some of these top guys. So check that out when you guys get a chance. NAL, Michael Todd and Ron Bath. Ron Bath is such a fucking monster too. God, I gripped up with him one time and he destroyed me. It was like 4 years ago. I'd love to grip up with him again though. All right, guys, that's it. That's the end of the Reddit podcast. I'm gonna try to get back on this. I'll try to do this every Monday again. Sorry there was a lull in it, but I plan on coming back with some more content, maybe some secret coronavirus practices here and there, and I'll make some videos for you guys. Excited for after all this stuff is done, all this quarantine whatnots, to have some awesome super matches. There's one super match coming up in my team I'm really excited about. Etienne Waite and Damian Strasser, two guys on my team that have been training their ass off and are excited to arm wrestle against each other. If you guys are on the team, then everybody knows how big this one is. So I'm excited. We're going to make this happen. First practice back after quarantine. These two guys are going to be going at it. I'm sure Damian will be releasing a diss track pretty soon because he likes to do that. And I'll record that for everybody else. Hopefully you guys stay training, stay motivated. I know it's hard to find the motivation, guys, but remember, a lot of people aren't doing shit right now. So if you're that guy that is training, then once this whole thing is done, it's going to pay off in dividends, right? So keep training, keep pushing yourself, do your rehab work, stay in love with arm wrestling, watch all the videos, do all your homework, and when this whole thing is done, you're going to be a badass, right? All right, guys, go out there, be bold as shit, as bold as you can be without getting coronavirus. Wear your mask. Talk to you guys later.